Anthony Hartwig here with a Canfield softball player profile. I'm joined by junior pitcher Milena Toth. Milena, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Of course.
So, here you are, your junior season. Last year, you guys won a district championship. You got to regionals, and you're trying to take that next step this year. What's it been like so far to kind of build off of last year's success, take a lot of players returning from last year, and try to build as a team this season?
hmm Well, we do have a new coach this year, so we had to get used to that at the beginning. But we're all good now, and we're just practicing every day and working hard to make sure we can get to where we were last year.
It is a new coach. Coach Kernan took over, so we'll just hop into that question. What's it been like having someone that has definitely coached a long time in this area come in and take over as the Canfield head coach? And what has that been like for you guys?
It's been a lot of fun. He has a lot of experience with softball, so he's just a great coach, and he knows what he's talking about.
Has he helped you a lot as far as your confidence goes in the circle and being able to be even a better pitcher than maybe you were the first 2 years?
Yeah, he likes to talk about the mental aspect of the game, so he just doesn't just focus on the softball part, but he just prepares us for games that can be mentally tough.
When you talk about the mentality and the mental toughness that he's brought to you, what do you think how have you grown in your mental toughness from last year to this year and dealing with some sticky situations in the circle?
He just reminds me that softball is just a game and you can only do like as good as you can. So just don't think about it as hard and you can't be hard on yourself.
So far, you're a dominant pitcher this year, and I've had the chance to see a couple of your games, and you just feel like you have this look in your eye, like you're really motivated this year. Are you feeling a little bit more hungry this year than maybe you were last year?
Yeah, we made it far last year, but I know we can get further this year. And just playing with all the seniors, they're going to be leaving soon. So I just want to make it a great last year with them.
8 seniors on this team. What's it like to be, led by such a great group and to be able to watch them lead and to just be a part of a team with such incredible leadership like that?
It's amazing. I've been playing with all of them since I was like 10 years old in Little League. So we have team chemistry, and it's just really sad to see them leave.
Now, even though you're not a senior, you are a pitcher and you're one of the dominant pitchers in the area, which means you just hold a sense of leadership. You have leadership responsibility on this team. A lot of people look to you, when they're down or whatever. What's that like for you being able to lead not as a senior but as an upperclassman?
It's amazing just being a role model for the underclassmen and just setting a good example for how they should be.
When you watch yourself in the circle this year and you kind of break down your game, what things have you gotten better at? What do you think you're grown in from last year to this year?
I definitely think I've gained some speed since I have last year, and my control is better, so I'm able to hit my spots better.
Pitchers don't get to your level without help and without the people that kind of help them grow. Who have been some people that have been very intricate in your growth as a pitcher over your career?
Definitely my pitching coach, Mr. D. He's been with me ever since I started pitching, so he's been able to get me to where I am today.
When did you start pitching and when did you start to feel like, okay, I can be really, really good at this and I can really work hard and be a dominant pitcher?
hmm I started pitching when I was 9 years old, and I just did it for fun. But then I started to realize that it was more than like just something that I wanted to do off the side. So I just kept practicing every week, and it just became something big in my life.
What was there something that made it transition to something that was just for fun, to something that you really wanted to be dedicated to? Was there like a season or a team that you were on when you were young, or maybe a coach you had that really made you fall in love with the sport?
Um, well, my dad was a big part of my pitching experience, so he would work with me a lot whenever I was younger, and just being able to like go out and pitch with him was something that we were able to do together, and I just stuck with it.
To be where you are now, obviously you've worked extremely hard and you sacrifice a lot. And there are probably a lot of days when you, as a high school person, just say like, I don't want to do this. I want to go out and hang out with my friends. But hey, I got to go practice. I got to go pitch. You have to have a drive for all that. So, what drives you? What pushes you through those kind of days when you maybe don't want to do the work, but you know you have to? What gives you that motivation?
I just always thought about playing at the next level. That was always a dream of mine. So I just knew that I had to sacrifice some things in my life to be able to get there.
And playing at the next level, it's your junior year, which means it's the one where you start to make decisions and you start to look at places you could fall next year. Obviously, there's probably a lot of people that want you to come play for them. What kind of things do you look for? What kind of things do you want to see in a program that you can land home in the next couple years?
I definitely look at the coaches. I don't want to play for a team if I don't like the coaches, but if you just like the coaches and like the location of where it's at, I would work.
You said location. Like, is there a dream spot? Is a dream state or maybe a dream area where you want to be?
Well, I'm committed to the University of Buffalo, so it's only 3 hours from here, so that's like not too far, and that's where I wanted to be at.
In the MAC, which means you're going to play a lot of former YSN people in that conference, but the first one to commit to the University of Buffalo. What made you choose them? What made you want to be a Bison?
Just like I said, they're close to home. They're only 3 hours. I don't want to be too far from home, and I just really love the coaches and the campus.
What were some of the other things, that as far as the program you want to be at in Buffalo that made it even more of a place that you wanted to be, what you want to study and what kind of career you want to get into?
I don't know what I want to study yet, but they offer a ton of career options there, so I would have a lot of a range to pick from.
When you think about having that squared away, like you are committed now, you don't have to worry about the recruitment process anymore. How much has that taken off your shoulders this year and let you just be able to focus on making Canfield the best team they can be?
It's really relieving. I'm able to just have fun when playing softball and not having to worry about the whole recruitment process throughout it.
We've talked about the seniors on this team, but there are also plenty of players that are either new to the varsity level or stepping into bigger roles this year. What's it been like to bring them along and to kind of show them the ropes and to be able to let them grow into bigger spots on the team this year?
Mhm. It's been a lot of fun. Of course, there's a lot of seniors, but there are some underclassmen on the team, and just showing them some of the traditions that we do on the team and just introducing them to Canfield softball.
Now, obviously, to get far in the tournament, teams have to play a tough schedule, and you guys don't even have to go outside of the conference to get the tough schedule in your way. I mean, the pitchers that you have inside the AAC with the three arms that Boardman can throw at you, obviously Brooke Tater at Howland, Cindy Watts at Fitch. What's it like to be in a conference where you're just a stone's throw away from extremely good competition?
Yeah, we know there's a ton of competition, so we just always have to be prepared and ready. And it's just good to get work in and get practice off of them.
We talked about earlier about how, last year and the way it ended made you guys really hungry and made you guys want to get back to there. But also, you also have to take it one game at a time and finish one goal at a time. Win the conference first, try to win the conference first, then get into the tournament and then take it, one step at a time. How has this team balanced that hunger to get back to regionals with that mentality of just trying to take it one step at a time?
Yeah, obviously, a state championship is the goal, but we always have to think about just playing the game that is coming up ahead and try not to look too far into the future. So, our first goal is just win the AAC and then just get past district and regionals.
You guys got to go to Myrtle Beach this year, and it was a very successful trip down there. You threw a no hitter down there in Myrtle Beach. What was that experience like to be going to South Carolina and to obviously expose yourself to great softball, but also bond with this team in a much greater capacity?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We all became really close during that trip. Some of the underclassmen didn't really know us well, so this trip we were able to get to know them, and it was just a lot of fun to be able to play on the beach with my friends.
Who was one player that maybe before that trip you didn't know too well, but after that trip you know much better?
Definitely Leah Figueroa. She's my catcher now, and so I feel like it's really important to have a good bond with your catcher, and we were just able to really connect during this trip.
And that must be really important to you because she's, a new to you catcher. Took over this year as a catcher. What's that been like to build a relationship with a new backstop and to build trust and to build that bond with Leah?
I have to get used to her catching. She used to be able to get used to my pitching, so it's just important to communicate with her, get to know like what she can do to help get the strike to be called.
A lot of people don't understand the extra work that goes into that. It's not like you and Leah just show up on a game and just say, "Hey, you're going to catch me." Like a lot of bullpen work, a lot of work and practice to just kind of learn each other. Talk about that and being able to really put in the extra time with Leah to not just build a relationship off the field, but also build that bond on the field, so she knows what your pitches do, and like you said, you know how she catches.
Yeah, we pitch a lot during the week. During practices, I just throw to warm up, and we just are able to connect then. And she also is my hitting partner then, so we just have a lot of time to talk.
One of the fun things I like to ask dominant pitchers, obviously in practice, you get to go and pitch to your lineup. What's that like to kind of pitch to your own teammates and try to give them the best look that you can and try to get them out when obviously it's a tough lineup to go through.
That's fun. I know that they like need to see different pitching and pitches, so I just do that, and we like to share a lot of laughs with that.
We've talked about how hungry last year made you guys with the success, but also success brings expectations from outside. There are a lot of people that look at Canfield and say, okay, you need to repeat what you did last year. It is, and they almost think like it's automatic. How do you kind of deal with the expectations and the pressures that success can bring?
hmm A lot of people expect us to go far like we did last year, so we just try not to worry about that and just keep our focus on the game.
And also, in the same aspect, softball is a sport that makes you fail. It's built to make you fail. How do you deal with the ups and downs of the sport mentally?
It can be really tough sometimes after games when I don't throw as good. I stay distant from others, but I just have my friends and family around me to remind me to that it's just a game and that you just have like bad games and good games and you just have to get past them.
In the low points, in the times when maybe you fail and you want to stay away from people, like you said, who are the people that you go to try to, build you back up and get you back to a positive mindset?
Yeah, well, one of the people that has helped me a lot was Bella. She's a senior right now, and she's also a pitcher, and so she understands it too. So she's always just there whenever I need to talk, and I'm there for her.
There was a time in high school softball where, you'd have one pitcher and you'd ride her until you died, but not the case with Canfield. Like you said, you have Bella right behind you in the circle to give you some breaks, and she can come in and relieve you if you ever have a bad game, things like that. What's that like to be able to know that there is a pitcher that is a quality varsity pitcher right behind you, and all the pressure is not on your shoulders to go out there and pitch your A game every single night?
It feels great just being able to know that I have someone behind my back that is there whenever I'm struggling, and I have a lot of confidence in her.
Obviously, it's a little bit of a different mentality when you're not pitching and you're out there on the field. What's that like being able to go back and forth between what you have to, how you have to carry yourself in the circle compared to how you have to carry yourself when you're not in the circle and you're, on the defensive side behind someone else in the circle?
hmm Just making sure we always have her back. As being a pitcher, I know that I like to have a good defense behind me. So whenever I play in the field, I just know to um, be able to make our plays and just back.
And everyone talks about your pitching, but man, you can hit really well too. What's your mindset in the box? I mean, does being a pitcher help you in there, knowing what the pitcher mentality is, and maybe knowing, okay, this is how I would attack me in this situation? Does that help you in the box?
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that would help is when I'm pitching, I can see where the umpire is calling and his strike zone, so that helps whenever I'm up to bat.
I mean, are you a fan of hitting, or is it just something you do for the team? Because I've talked to many pitchers, and some of them love getting the bat in their hand and being able to help themselves out, and some of them are just like, well, I have to do it, but it's not my favorite thing. Where do you stand as far as hitting?
Well, for a while now, I haven't been hitting as much. I've been focusing on pitching, but this year I started hitting. I'm just really starting to love it.
What's your favorite feeling in softball? Is it a big strikeout, maybe a big diving play on your defense, or maybe it's a big hit that you have in the box? What's your favorite feeling in the sport?
Definitely whenever it's a close game between the two teams and someone just gets a good hit and it just starts off a great inning.
All right, so last night you guys had that rain delay. So my question to you is, what's your favorite like kind of rain delay activity? What kind of things do you like doing with your team while you're waiting out the weather and trying to get a game in?
Definitely just turning on the music and just having a lot of fun in the dugout.
What do you think is what are some songs that this team really jams to? I know it's a dancing team. I've seen it before. What kind of songs get you guys moving?
The one song is "Pump It Up." It was just like a funny song for school, so we just usually play that.
What about you? What are some songs that get you real juiced up, and maybe if you need hyped up or something, you could play and it'll get you in that right mindset?
Well, our team has a game day playlist, so I usually just turn that on, and it just has a ton of songs on it, and we just play that during all our practices and before games.
I'm sure, especially days where you're starting in the circle, you have to work on getting your mind in the right spot before a game. What are some routines pre-game that you do to get yourself in the right mindset?
Yeah, so before the game, I usually just mentally like envision like getting a good at bat or a good pitch just to get like ready for the game.
Last question is we kind of preview the rest of the season and we go over the things that you think that you're able to accomplish this year. What are some goals that you have already set or are setting now that it's the middle of the season, not just for yourself but also for the team, as we venture into the second half of the year?
Yeah, so one goal for me would be to not as walk as many people. I've been doing pretty good at that this year, but I just don't want to walk people during games. And a goal for the team would be to get to the state championship.
Of course, the Firestone, beautiful Firestone Stadium, now at Turf Field. So can't wait to see if Canfield's able to get there. Melina, before I let you go, I want to give you the chance to thank your support system, shout out the people in your life that are always there for you, and whoever else you want to thank at this time.
I would just like to thank my parents, my friends, and my teammates, and my coaches for always being there for me.
Melina, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the year, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you.